Welcome back to Just Got Radio on BJPenn.com. I'm your host, Cole Shelton. Episode 178 is live ahead of UFC 307. Just one interview in this week. We're going to join by Mario Bautista to preview his fight against Jose Aldo. This should be a really fun fight on the main card. Mario finally gets that big fight he's been after. He's been calling out Cody Garbrandt for a while. He had that fight booked in, come to fruition last year, and now he's on that nice winning streak. Has lost since March of 2021. 8-2 in the UFC, coming off a good win over Ricky Simone in January. So obviously the layups in a bit, but he's excited for this one against Aldo. He knows it's a legend, and he knows a win over Aldo does wonders for his career. But really good chat with Mario. But be sure to share the show, subscribe, and tune in next week for another episode of Just Scrap Radio. All right, we're jumping UFC bandweight Mario Bautista, who's back in action here and has a massive fight upcoming. Mario, how's it going, man?
It's going pretty good, thank you.
First off, like we've been talking for a while, we've always been telling you you're about time you were going to get one of these big names. When you got the call to fight Jose Aldo, like what kind of went through your head for that one?
Honestly, I was kind of surprised. I know I was pushing for the Rob Font fight, but it just got to the point where I was like, I'll take anyone. Even if it was going to be outside the top 15, because I had no clue what the UFC was going to be thinking or what they were going to do. So once they gave me that name, man, I got pretty excited, and I was pretty happy with that. It was worth the wait since I last fought in January, so it was worth it.
That I was going to ask for you, but I'll bring it up now. Is like, what kind of was there any reason for this long of a layoff, or is it just kind of when the UFC offered you a fight?
No, that's just when they offered. I was on top of them like what I think like starting around March, and onward. I was just kind of bugging them about fights to hopefully fight by the summertime, and that way get another one at the end of the year. But I think we got into July. I think it was the end of July. That's when they told me about the Jose Aldo fight. So yeah, nothing on my part. I was healthy the whole time, and I was just waiting for a fight. So
With Aldo, what you make of his last performance beating Jonathan Martinez? Like, it is kind of returned. It kind of shocked people he was coming back, and then he looked really good after kind of he did that boxing for a bit.
yeah, no, I thought he looked good. I mean, made the weight, performed. Um, yeah, I thought he did pretty good. I didn't even know he retired, before that fight. So, but yeah, he looked good against Jonathan Martinez.
When you tell your friends and family you're fighting Aldo, like what's kind of the reaction? Because this is a guy, like I think even if you don't know fighting, like a lot of people just know who he is. People think that he's the best featherweight of all time. Like I imagine you were coming up, you probably never thought you'd ever fight him. So like, what's kind of been the reaction like to it?
Yeah, everyone was pretty stoked for me. Um, I've never imagined fighting Jose Aldo myself, like, because growing up he was a 45er, um, so I never really envisioned it. But growing up, I did always like picture myself fighting like these top guys. I guess it would be like Dominic Cruz and stuff. Um, so just being prepared for mentally, for this fight coming up. But yeah, everyone was stoked. People that don't watch MMA too much, like in my family, knew who Jose Aldo was. So they know it's a big fight for me.
And bringing anyone different for this camp, or just kind of the usual crew you were working with?
Uh, yeah, I'll be bringing Randy Steinke instead of Bulldog, David Michon.
Mhm.
David's out in South Dakota, and he has his own, food truck business out there. Um, so and I'm out here in Phoenix, so Randy's been helping me a lot lately.
With Jose, everyone knows leg kicks. Like, how do you kind of get ready to deal with that? Like, is that something you get just someone just fire a bunch of leg kicks at you? How do you kind of get prepared for that?
Just being very mindful of it, going with people during practice that throw a little bit more leg kicks, or having them throw a little bit more leg kicks, and just working it into the routine, in my shadow boxing, my sparring, um, you know, mentally just and visually just getting ready for it. Um, so that's something that I've been doing. So hopefully we're on top of it and everything, which I think I am.
Something that's fighters have told me, and like I know they've told other people, is when they kind of fight these legends, they get almost a bit like starstruck in there a bit, and they don't kind of fight to their game plan. They kind of get like they kind of just admire stuff too much. Like, how do you kind of do you think that'll be a problem, or like how do you kind of get ready for that?
I just don't feed into that. Leading up to this fight, like he bleeds just like me, and like it's nothing special. I've always been like that around like celebrities and stuff like that. I've never really been starstruck or been like, oh, can I go take a picture, this and that. I've just, we're on the same level. We're all human beings, and he's accomplished so much, and that I can respect. But, having guys like Benson Henderson in my gym, going with that, a former champion, you kind of, um, I don't get stuck in my head about those kind of things.
We're doing this about just kind of right before Sean fights. Like, how kind of nice is it that he's in the camp? Like, Kyler's fighting what, like a week after you, where you guys are kind of all in the gym together again.
Yeah. Yeah. Kyler's going to be in camp right after me. A few other people. We've been pretty busy lately, throughout the summer and leading into October. So it's pretty cool. It's fun going on this camp journey with other teammates. So I'm excited on it. We have to feed off of each other.
How do you think you match up against Aldo?
I think pretty well. I think however the fight's going to turn out, I just got to keep a high pace, and that I can do. Like I proved it against Ricky. I proved it to myself against Ricky. Someone that does have a great gas tank, and I was able to, kind of push him to his limit at the end of that fight. So I know I have the gas tank, and that's going to be a big thing for me. I think in this fight, skill wise, wherever the fight goes, I'm just going to have to make him fight, and that tends to be Aldo's kind of weakness, lately. Whether it's Marab wrestling him or Max Holloway kind of outstriking him, it tends to be a cardio thing.
You are going out to Utah in elevation. I know last time they were there, a lot of people did kind of struggle with that. Is that something you're going to go out early, or how do you kind of get ready? I guess in Arizona it's not too bad, like compared to some other places. But like, how do you kind of deal with that?
Yeah, we're not at sea level. We're like at 1,000, so it'll be maybe like a 3,000 difference. But I do have an elevation tent here, so I've just been following the program that they send out with it. So that's something I've been doing, that elevation tent, and then just pushing it a little bit more in practice. I'm always pushing it, but like there's going to be more of a reason to, and that way, we don't have an issue once we get up there.
How do you kind of see this one playing out? Like, Aldo, one of the more durable guys, like only been finished by Yan, Holloway, and McGregor, like three of the best guys to do it. So, like, how do you kind of see this one playing out?
Uh, I, it's just going to be a high pace fight. I don't know if we can get a finish out there, that'd be nice. But you know, I've never lost a decision, so if it goes to that, I see myself winning.
Oh, what do you think a win over Josie does for you? Like, obviously the biggest win in your career, but like, where do you think that kind of puts in the bantamweight division?
Hopefully, gives me his spot. Definitely puts me in the top 10 and ready to get into that top 5. So it's going to bring a lot more eyes to me, a little bit more attention, and then just adds value to me. So and then that'll prepare me for top 5.
And then Kyler's obviously fighting Rob Font, like what, I think 2 weeks after you, maybe a week, something like that. Like
Yeah.
I think Rob's ranked ninth, Aldo's ranked 10th. Like it'd be pretty crazy, like to think of how far you guys came. We're in like a month time, all three, like Kyler and Sean, like you could be the champ, and then two of you guys are in the top 10 in the division.
Yeah. I mean, like, what does that say about our gym? So that's the way I look at it. All of us at that gym following the same kind of program, and we're all getting into the top 10. Then we also have Marcus McGee, coming up
Mhm.
too. So, and that's just, us in the UFC, and there's a bunch of other 35ers from amateurs to, pros starting out. They're going to be shifting their way into there too. So I'm excited for us.
I know you guys have always said like you'll fight each other only if it is for the title, but kind of getting how close it is. Have you guys had any of those talks of what camp could look like if when you guys have to fight each other? Is that still not really in the conversation until it has to happen?
No, we haven't talked about it or anything. Like coach will make like little jokes here and there, but no, not like any serious talks. But I think once it came down to it, or if it does, I think we'll handle it well. I don't think it's just going to be filled with drama, or like it won't be like a Marab, all joke situation. So I don't know, but that's something I guess we'll have to look into once we get there.
Fighting early October, I kind of imagine it'd be hard to get another one in. So do you think this is probably it for you this year?
Yeah, I think so. Because like a few more months after that, and hopefully it gets started early next year. And if we're in the top 5, top 10, might have to slow it down a little bit to maybe not one, like 2 to 3 fights a year.
Mhm.
So I don't know. We'll see how next year goes.
And like, how far away do you think you would be for a title? Like, I think you beat Aldo. Like, I think you could get like a top 5 guy, then kind of be a number one contender. Like, I think you could be like 2, 3 fights away.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense to me. I got a top 15, I got a top 10, I got a top 5, and I guess it's all just based on their performances. So we'll see how these next few fights go. And I feel like obviously getting closer.
Just final thing, like, what is kind of the goal for you going forward then?
Exactly that.
Yeah.
So I got my top 10, Aldo, big fight. Next fight, hopefully top 5, and then we'll go from there. See who else like has those good performances, because once you get into the top 5, it's almost based on like, okay, who got like a first round knockout or whatever it is. So we'll just have to play by ear after that.
Well, Mario, I appreciate the time as always. Thanks so much for doing this.
Thanks, Cole. I appreciate it. Thank you.